Doesn't mean that you'll always be that way, but that's where you're at. And I think that's one of the things that recruits have to realize. The only guys that they're looking at like this upside thing with are guys that are really fast or really big, height,
measurables,
right? Measurables. Everybody else is really where they're at. And where you're at on your performance level is where you're going to go. I think that's a really interesting point on it. And what about them going so outside of their area? Because this is one of the questions that sometimes parents ask me. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm interested in going to school in the South. Okay. And me and Derek talk about this all the time because everybody in New Jersey says New Jersey football is so great, and it's good. It's good. I mean, and Schiano's just doing a great job of starting to get some of those guys, right? But the South is different. Like, there's so many players in the South, and when a kid from the Northeast, for example, says he wants to go to school in the South, and they go to a bunch of camps in the South, and then they come away and they may be a FCS guy, right? Because there's a lot of them in the Northeast and not maybe as many throughout the South, but they go down there looking for something down there. Explain to about how important it is to get recruited first in your area before you kind of venture out. Is that something that's still a thing, or has that changed?
That's the old way of thinking. That's what I would have said that the kids 10 years ago. What
Okay.
I would tell a kid from the Northeast or the West Coast or the Midwest, if you want to play in the South, then go to camp in the South and compete, right? And just see if you're up to par. The advantage that the South has in recruiting is that they have spring ball in high school. So because they have spring practice in high school, those coaches are able to evaluate those guys in pads and in camp and in spring ball and see if they can really play. And camp is not as important to those guys as it is to guys in other areas because you saw them participate in the spring. You've been able to watch them practice in pads and see how they respond to getting coached by their high school coaches.